Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Lake Oswego High School, home of the 2019 OHSLA, that's the Oregon High School Lacrosse Association semifinals. Action tonight at 6 o'clock with the first semifinal game. That'll feature the Sunset Apollos and the West Linn Lions. We'll follow that up at 8 o'clock with the game between the Lake Oswego Lakers and the Lake Ridge Pacers. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Hall. I'll be doing the play-by-play. Working with me tonight, my broadcast partner, Paul Voas. And Paul is the assistant coach at Aloha High School. He might be more familiar to you. The last 15 years before that, he was the head coach at Southridge. And Paul, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this game.
These are the top 4 ranked teams in the state in high school lacrosse action. Sunset is number 2. West Linn is number 3. They'll do the first game. We'll follow that up with our game at 8 o'clock, and that'll be the Lake Ridge Pacers, who are number 1, and the Lake Oswego Lakers, number 4. The Apollos are 7-2 on the season, 6-0 in Metro League action. That's what got them to that number 2 ranking. And the West Linn Lions, they are 16-3, 7-2 in Three Rivers League Conference action. So this should be an exciting matchup, both games tonight.
It should be. 2 experienced coaches. Mark Flood, the pioneer of lacrosse in Oregon, was one of the original founders. And one of his prodigies, to say,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Justin Blackmore, who played for Lake Ridge and was also on Team Oregon that Mark Flood and I helped coach.
You might have been with us last week when we brought you girls action. Those were, we're ready for the national anthem. All right, our national anthem. And I was about to say, Paul, girls played 2 25-minute halves. Boys play 4 12-minute quarters. Clock stops all the time. That's the difference between the two of those things. One thing I've learned about lacrosse, and I've become a lacrosse fan, is that no lead is safe. Goals can come in bunches. They can come in runs. Team can go on a run and get 4, 5, 6 goals and make up a deficit in no time at all.
Yeah, well, Dave, yeah, you're exactly right. That's why they call it the creator's game and also the fastest sport on 2 feet. Yeah, you can be up by 4 or 5, and you can't take your foot off the gas. This is a game where you try not to let up leads. Very quickly, things can turn over. Face-off is a very unique aspect of this game, and if you have someone who can face off, you can turn a game around within a minute or 2 easily.
Draw control is essential in this sport because what is really essential is possessions. This is about how many times you can get the ball.
Yeah, that's correct. Very unique about lacrosse is the draw control or the face-off, and you're seeing it now at the collegiate level where it's highly specialized, and they're very much sought-after specialists because they can dominate. The top teams that make it in the NCAA almost exclusively have top face-off guys.
I'll tell you a quick story. I'm a baseball fan. I love baseball.
Yes.
baseball game comes on TV, I watch baseball. Saturday morning, I get up to watch baseball on TV. It's Washington and Miami, not my favorite teams. Max Scherzer's pitching, a pitcher I like. I look through the thing to see what else is on. The NCAA Lacrosse Championship is on. You know what I did? I watched it. I watched the Lacrosse Championship because I knew what was going on now.
Right.
And the game was so exciting. It was Yale and Virginia.
Yes.
And Virginia won that game.
Yes.
All right. What's going on now, Paul, at the midfield?
Well, this is where players line up at the beginning of the game. The referees are giving them instructions. By this time of the season, they're all very aware. But just knowing about the high-stakes nature of this game, they're just making sure the players are going to keep everything under control and just have a sportsman-like attitude.
The goalies just shook hands. For the Sunset Apollos in goal, it will be number 28, Aiden Shaw. In goal for the West Linn Lions, number 17, Carson Bradford, and he is a senior. On our roster for Sunset, it doesn't say what Aiden Shaw is, do you know?
Yeah, Aiden Shaw is a sophomore. I was very fortunate to work with him as a youngster, and he had a lot of promise then and potential, and it's coming to fruition. He was tied for first team with Duffy from Jesuit, who's a Syracuse commit, so that tells you how good he is.
In the girls, they start on the draw. They're standing up. The boys, it's on the ground, and that ball can go anywhere.
And they can get pretty physical at times as well.
Sunset, purple uniforms. They're purple and white. They're moving from our left to our right. West Linn, they're in their white uniforms, white lettering, gold and green trim. And back behind the net, Apollo's with the ball. And they'll set it up around the outside, kind of a feeling out process. I know when we did the games last week, nobody scored it in the first 3 minutes of any game. Let's see if the Apollos can reverse that trend. A couple of spin moves, tries to get in front, a shot, and a goal. I'm sorry, not a goal, it was wide.
Yeah, that was a shot by number 10, Calder Gallagher, the junior, first team All-Metro.
And West Linn on their first possession comes forward. I thought the goalie missed that, but he actually got it that time. Save for the goalie. West Linn. And they'll go back behind the net.
Very nice inside roll by number 1, I believe. That's Ross Scott. Sunset was ready for it. They know that he's their number 1 threat. He was the number 1 vote getter in Metro, first team.
Good job, too, by the goalie that time, Shaw, to cut off the angle there. All right, Apollo's come forward. That's number 9, Callum Craig. .9:45 left to go here, first quarter. No score, just underway at Lake Oswego High School. The Oregon High School Lacrosse Association semifinals. These two winners will meet on Saturday. Craig, number 9. Number 20, that's Parker Deschant. And right now, the Apollo's being very deliberate. There's a shot and a goal. Well,
that's what we refer to in the lacrosse world as a mom goal. I'd like to say, or a dad goal, where the crowd goes nuts, not knowing that it went up the side of the cage.
Well, see, they cheered, and that fooled me, and it actually hit the side of the net. Yeah. It didn't go in. So I'm 0 for 2. All right.
Sorry, it happens to the best of us.
I'll be more observant. No more trust in the fans. West Linn with the ball behind the net. There's a shot wide all the way to the back. The ball goes to the closest player to the ball when it went out, and that'd be the Apollos. I'm sorry, that'd be West Linn behind the net. Tried to skip a ball in off the ground, missed. There's a run.
That was a shot by Anders Martinson, senior second team All-TRL, or Three Rivers League. Nice shot, but a better save by Aiden Shaw. Aiden Shaw is, for a sophomore, seeing the ball very well.
Shaw, the goalie, all the way out to midfield. Little spin move inside. There's the ball deflected. There's a big collision. Ball loose on the ground, and that's going to go back behind the net. Send it forward. West Linn down the left side. Anything you see strategically from either one of these teams so far, Paul?
I think West Linn right now is just focusing on their offense from behind with Ross Scott, their number one attackman. He does have 67 goals, so you can see why he is going to him.
In front there is a goal that time. West Linn with a goal, and they break on top.
There's a nice little shovel shot, heads up feed. On that play, you saw a flag down, and they're going to call a push with possession, but you see the official waving the flag off.
All right, I think the goal was number 0.
If that was Ethan Lown, junior, second team.
All right, we got that on replay. Let's take a look and see if we can see who that is. Nope, okay. I heard the PA announcer say 0. So we'll give it to Ethan Lown, the junior. West Linn breaks on top, 6:45 the time on that goal. Those times I'm giving you, those are unofficial, and those are times till the end of the quarter. Those are not elapsed times. West Linn back with the ball. There's a shot and another goal, and just what we were talking about, Paul. You score a goal, you win a draw, you come down, score another goal.
Score another one. Well, that's an instance where you get the ball behind to your top attackman, and all the eyes of the defense focused on them. They seem to forget the midfielders that are just lurking behind.
24 seconds. That goal, I'm sure, that was scored by number 0, Ethan Loan, and that's his second goal of the game. 24 seconds for that goal. 2-0 West Linn. We got a timeout. Each team with 2 timeouts during the game, right?
During the half.
Or during the half.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one thing I've noticed that West Linn seems to be going to the goal very quickly, trying not to let the Sunset defense set up. They're very athletic, well coached, and Sunset, on the other hand, you can see on their offensive possessions, are trying to be a little bit more deliberate.
That timeout was taken by the Apollos, their first timeout. So after playing almost 6 minutes without any goal, West Linn gets 2 within 20 seconds.
Yeah, that was right after Aiden Shaw, goalie for Sunset, made a couple very nice saves. Yeah, I said he was seeing the ball on those last 2. That first one, that wasn't his fault. That was, the ball popped out. That's, again, the nature of the game. And Ethan Loon just at the right place at the right time.
Well, he has both of those goals, I believe. And we'll have a draw.
You can see Sunset sends out their do-it-all long stick midfielder to take a lot of these face-offs. Ajax Zapatello is a junior first team. He's actually committed to Maryland.
You know, when I watched the NCAA championship Saturday morning, they have draw specialists. They have people that's what they do in the game. They take the draws. Some of them are very effective.
Yes, and that's all they do. And see on that one, the West Linn face-off man jumped before the whistle, so it's just a simple turnover. Whereas a lot of people familiar with the college game, 3 of those and a half, and it's a automatic penalty. However, in the high school rules, we do not follow that.
Apollos down 2-0, come forward. That's number 11 for the Apollos who brought it for it, Alex Banton. Back to Banton. He'll send the ball around the outside. Man-to-man defense for West Linn. Apollos in the back. Behind the cage. A shot.
That goal by number 10, Calder Gallagher.
So a goal for the Apollos. Number 10. There you can see it. Our replay goal. Number 10 on the goal, and that is, as we mentioned, Chop Gallagher.
Yeah, it was a straight speed move. We have a lot of different dodging in lacrosse. That's the simplest form. We just call it a go. Speed kills.
That coming at 5:39 left in the first quarter. 2-1 now. Ball on the ground, scooped up by the Apollos. Chance to even this up. A shot deflected. Nice save by the goalie that time.
Oh, it actually looks like that squirted through. It looked like a save initially.
Unassisted.
Oh, unassisted on the goal. The goal for the Apollos.
Zapatello has 13 goals on the season for a long stick midfielder. That is phenomenal. And you can see why he is committed to Maryland, a Division I program. And one of the top programs, top 8 programs, and perennially they've been in the final games for multiple years, the last 5 years.
That goal coming 7 seconds after the other goal and ties this game up at 2-2. And there's a collision. A couple of players go down.
Yeah, it's the loose ball pushed from behind. Just a turnover, no penalty.
West Linn still with the ball after reeling off 2 quick goals. The Apollos came back with 2 really quick goals. I was making a big deal out of the goals being 20 seconds apart. Those 2 goals were 7 seconds apart. Zapatello unassisted on the goal. No sooner did I say that than West Linn scores.
Again, like the previous dodge by Gallagher, that was just simple speed. Nothing fancy, nothing special. You just take it to the rack.
All right, we're watching there. Do we see the number on the goalie on the goal there? Okay. Okay. I believe the goal was scored by number 10, and that is Josh Morford.
Well, if that was number 10, I know Josh very well. His dad is one of the coaches over there, Jim Morford, and we've been playing together for a long time. He was one of the original players at Oregon State University, his dad was. Josh has played for me as a youth player, and he's starting to develop into a very good player, if that was him.
It was. I heard the announcer say number 10, Josh. I didn't hear the last name, but
yeah.
Josh Morford, that's who it is.
Yes.
So West Linn goes back on top, 3-2. And with the ball as they win the draw. We virtually had no goals in the first 6 minutes, and now we've had 5 goals in the last 2.
So it was a very short feeling out period, and obviously now the offenses are starting to become a little more comfortable.
West Linn with the ball, got it in the middle, couldn't get a shot away. Ball still loose on the ground. Lions pick it up.
Coach Flood might not be too happy with that feed to the attacker in the crease like that. It's usually frowned upon by most coaches.
Ball loose in front, tried to bounce pass it in front, and Lions lost it, but got it right back. There's a shot over the top of the net.
That was Michael Stell, number 3, senior, honorable mention, all TRL, Three Rivers League. He's easy to spot because he's wearing those red gloves.
And another West Linn goal.
West Linn, number 24, Jack Johnson. This is by number 0,
24 on the goal for West Linn, and 24 is Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson, one of my favorite artists.
I thought he was a heavyweight boxing champion.
That too.
So another West Linn goal after the Apollos got this tied up at 2-2. 2 more goals now for West Linn, and it's 4-2, and West Linn comes back with the ball. A run quickly in goal, a shot blocked down low by Shaw. And Apollos come right back forward on a run. Number 3, that was Michael Stell. We're approaching 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. 4-2 Lions. That's Alex Banton. Shot deflected. There's a flag.
So, yeah, that call was a hold. At first, it looked like the referee called a push. Either way, it's going to be a 30-second releasable penalty.
30-second penalty on the Apollos. Wait a minute, am I right on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when Paul says releasable, it means if there's a goal, the penalty's released.
Correct.
Much the same as you see in hockey.
And something unique for Sunset, you'll notice number 4, their LSM is playing man up. You can see why he's had 13 goals this season. Very rarely do you see that.
Apollos around the outside, looking for a cutter in the middle. There's a ball loose on the right side, picked up by the Apollos. Number 4, that's Ajax Zapatello.
Ajax Zapatello.
.155 left to go here, first quarter. 4-2 Apollos. There's a pass and a shot and a goal. All right. Sunset goal, and that's number 12, and that's Noam Almog. Time on that goal, 1:47 left to go here in the first quarter, makes the score 4-3. Boy, he was excited to get that goal too.
Yeah, it was very nice. Took advantage of that double team. He drew the double and found the man that would open in the crease.
Here's the draw.
Face off won by Sunset, number 3, Thomas Sickle.
Ball loose, picked up by the Apollos. Midfielder number 17, Owen Heyer. Nobody able to gain possession there. A whistle.
Believe that's going to be a loose ball. Oh, timeout.
Timeout, Sunset.
Sunset takes a timeout. Now that's the Apollo's second timeout here in the first half.
That's a very early timeout to take. I think he was trying to save possession. No, it's a very important possession.
4-3 our score. West Linn with the lead. West Linn scored the first 2 goals. Apollo's got 2 back in a 7-second span. Then West Linn with 2 more goals to go up 4-2. And the Apollos just scored. Noah Almoak on the goal, and it's 4-3. 1:11 left to go here, first quarter. You're at Lake Oswego High School, and this is the OHSLA semifinal championship matches. This is the first of 2. Later tonight, it'll be Lake Ridge and Lake Oswego. We'll bring you that game, so stay with us. Then the 2 semifinalists will meet on Saturday for the championship. We'll be back here to do that.
Yeah, Coach Blackmore called this timeout again to save that possession. You're down by 2 goals. It's very important in these championship games or any high-level games. You want to make sure the score doesn't get too far away and let emotions run away with it. So you can see they probably either drew something up or just going to go back to their base offense.
Apollos with the ball. Scoreboard shows they have a timeout left, but I believe they've taken 2 here in the first quarter. West Linn yet to take a timeout. So Apollos are going to try to set things up. Are they playing for a last shot? Ball loose, picked up by West Linn and stolen away. Stolen away by Callum Craig. Reverses the field, out in the middle now. Craig.
Now they'll hold for the last shot of the quarter.
All right, we're down to 20 seconds.
That's a good time you want to go.
Little spin move, trying to get in front. And there's the ball taken by the goalie. Goalie sends it forward. See if West Linn can get something in these last few seconds. 2-1, there's a shot. And kind of fielded on the fly by the goalie. That is the end of the first quarter. Our score at the end of the first quarter. It is West Linn 4, Sunset 3. Paul, your thoughts?
Well, it looks like Sunset, at first they started out pretty strong on defense. They need that now. That seems like they need to try to recognize, they need to get their second slide in. And number 1 guy, Ross Scott, drawing a lot of attention behind. And you have the other defenders up top ball watching. So they just need to be aware of that second slide, knowing that, Ross Scott not only has 67 goals, he's got 25 assists. So he's going to be looking, knowing that slide's coming early.
Hey, I want to let you know that these 2019 OHSLA Championship playoffs are presented by UBS and Wren Ferguson Group, helping individuals and families with financial planning and professional investment management for over 30 years. They understand the value of investing in our communities and our youth. To learn more about what they can do to help you with your financial planning and investment management, give them a call at 503-248-1303. I also want to let you know the Oregon Masters Lacrosse League, that's for people like us, is proud to announce its inaugural 2019 summer season. If you're interested in participating, please see the OMLL booth at the west end of the field near the concessions, or visit the OMLL website at omll.org. There's 4 regions based on teams, and they are the West Side Fosters, the East Side Slow Breakers, the South Side Sloths, and the Portland Patriots. Oregon Masters Lacrosse League. Why should the kids have all the fun?
Exactly, and I actually happen to play in that league.
You do? Who do you play for?
The West Side Fosters. My friend Andy Klump and Joe Lowe have been trying to organize this for a while now. And just to try, again, yeah, exactly like you said, watching the kids have all the fun.
Right. Okay. Maybe I should look into that. All right, second quarter just underway, 4-3. West Linn Lions lead the Sunset Apollos. We change sides.
Nice stop by number 20.
So the Apollos are now moving from our left to our right. Purple uniforms, white trim. West Linn, they'll move from our right to our left. White uniforms, white lettering, green and gold on the trim.
You see the referee just called that incidental contact. The coaches for West Linn are
There's the shot went high.
screaming for a push or a trip or something on that.
Shot by number 1. That's good.
West Linn. Pushed inside on the goal, shoots, nice save that time. Aiden Shaw managed to get his stick
Shot by
on
number
that.
18, Lucas Hoffman a little bit wide. Nice shot by number 28, Aiden Shaw. Nice stop, excuse me.
Our leading goal scorer is West Linn's Ethan Lown with 2. He got the first 2 of the game.
And that shot by Michael Still, number 3.
Little spin move. West Linn behind the net. In front, another block. Shaw that time got his stick up.
One-hander by Scott bounces off.
It's what we call a shovel shot. It comes around the goal with no angle and it
Right.
reaches around with that one hand. Takes a lot of control, a lot of practice to be able to pull that off.
And he did. There's another shot come from behind the goal. That was over the top and deflected.
Ethan Lown on that shot. Looks like he's a little gimpy. Looks like he's, when he fell, he
Right.
got a little wind knocked out of him.
West Linn. They're coming in from the back of the goal a lot here. There's a shot deflected. West Linn still with the ball. In front, missed the pass, scooped up by Aiden Shaw. Shaw sends it forward. Here come the Apollos.
Yeah, it looks like that Ethan Lown's going off the field right now. He wasn't ready for that shot, you could tell. Still grimacing in pain over there. Hopefully he's all right.
Ball loose, picked up by West Linn. Wow, that action right in front.
Shot bounces high and wide.
Calder Gallagher has more time to take that shot.
Save by number 17,
The kick save and a beauty.
Kick save by Carson Bradford.
It's one of those times we tell players, just take your time. He just got really excited. Pick your spots. It's like doing a layup in basketball.
Exactly, your eyes get so big when you see that. Around the outside, Nick Halverson out there for the Apollos. Charlie Gold, too.
Well, they got to wonder, the goalie, and that sun with the white net and the white uniform is kind of, it's difficult to see. So you wonder if, you know, the shooters are a little bit bothered by that.
When we were here last week doing the girls' game, it was a big factor. And the sun's going to get worse as it gets a little bit lower. It'll be right in the goalie's eyes.
Yeah, for some reason, the builders of fields in the state of Oregon seem to have put all the fields east to west.
You know, they just remodeled Franklin High School, and one of the things they did, they reoriented the field.
Makes sense to me.
Apollos, there's a shot blocked by Bradford way up in the air.
Anderson's goal bounces high.
shot wide.
Hopper's Apatino's shot goes wide.
Mentioned Carson Bradford, a senior in goal. Aiden Shaw, sophomore for Sunset. Apollos with the ball, hard shot blocked by Bradford. Almoig had a shot that time, went to raise his stick and lost the ball. Sunset with the ball, picked up by number 10, Chop Gallagher. Behind the net, Bradford with his stick up. Little spin move, a shot across the goal, and that's going to go out. That's going to go way out. Apollo ball. Gallagher goes over, he'll start the play.
So that was a matchup of number 1 attackman versus their number 1 defenseman, Grant Ballsbow. Ballsbow won that one.
In front, down on the ground, the ball loose, there's a flag.
Yep, there's one of the hardest calls for officials to make in the sport of lacrosse. When that attackman squirts in front of him like that, exposes the shoulder or the back, and the defenseman has little choice but to push him. And it's an easy call from a referee if he gets by them really quickly, but you can see on that one he squirted through right near the crease.
You know, the defenseman, or the attackman fell down, and then it looked to me like he tried to push the ball in the net with his stick.
Yep, the goal would still count if he could get a shot off.
You know, after scoring all those goals in the first quarter, we've now gone 6 minutes without a goal.
That's what I was saying in between in halftime. They were definitely talking their defenses to be able to button up that backside a little bit, and both teams seem to have done that.
Out on top, a shot, a hard shot, and a goal. Sunset's tied this game up. All right, the goal by number 4, Ajax Zavatello.
Sunset ties the game at 4.
That's his second goal of the game.
That was the announcer's jinx for West Linn. 6 minutes without a goal, sure enough.
Right, 5:57 the time on that. West Linn wants to take a timeout. So timeout on the field with that goal scored by Alex Zapatello, his second of the game. We've evened this game up at 4-4 in first semifinal action tonight in the OHSLA championship brackets. Winner of this game will play the winner of the game between the number 1 ranked Lake Ridge Pacers and the number 4 Lake Oswego Lakers. Right, we had 7 goals over a stretch of about 6 minutes, and now we went 6 minutes without a goal until that one. What changed?
Well, you know, it's at halftime, you know, they noticed that both offenses were having success and both coaches were probably concentrating on the defense. And when you have dynamic dodging attackmen or midfielders, it's going to draw a double, which defenses will leave the furthest guy from the ball open. It's the responsibility of the other defenders to make sure that they're sliding in the direction to where the ball's going. Sliding means you're moving from the man that you're guarding, which you're no longer responsible for, and sliding. And as long as you can get that second slide, you're going to prevent those quick passes after the double and quick scores. And it's behooves the offense to move it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, which usually favors the defense who can recover.
Right, we're going to have a draw. Alex Zapatello, who just scored, handling the draw for the Apollos. And there's a whistle.
Possession.
West Linn will get the ball.
That was Spencer Edwards on the draw. Their West Linn face-off man.
Edwards and Zapatello on the draw, the penalty, and the Lions get the ball. Well played game, Paul. Great defense. Great goaltending. There's a shot, and there's a goal. Lions come right back with a goal. They just don't want to be behind or tied up.
No. That was a fantastic cut by Lucas Hockman. I mean, we tell offensive players anybody can learn to dodge and shoot, but the key to this game is moving off ball.
All right, you saw in the replay there, that goal was by number 0, Ethan Lown, and that is his 3rd goal. He has a hat trick here in the first half. .520 the time on that.
Yeah.
5-4, West Linn leads. Lown has 3 of the goals. Ball loose, still loose. Picked up by the Apollos, number 10, Chop Gallagher. And there's a bunch of flags. There was a collision, the helmet's off. Gallagher lost his helmet. Big collision.
Penalty. West Linn.
They're calling a cross check. That's to be a 1-minute penalty.
Right. A dangerous penalty, a cross check. 1 minute, you're off. Is that a penalty you can come off when there's a goal?
Yeah, I didn't. Usually the referees will signal. They'll put both hands directly over their head and clasp their hands together to signal that unreasonable penalty. And the point of emphasis this year has been any hits to the head. I didn't see a hit to the head that time, and I assume the referees did not either. We saw his helmet come off, but that could have been from the secondary contact.
Right, that was his helmet came off from the player-to-player contact, not the hit with the stick.
Yeah.
1-man advantage for the Sunset Apollos. They're down a goal. There's a shot and a goal, and we're right back even again. That's number 12. That's Noam Almoig.
Assist number 7, Jacob Marks.
Very nicely executed play. Very, very rarely do you see Kreisman fed anymore from like that, but that was very executed. You usually want to make sure you have your hands free when you catch that in close. Very difficult shot for the goalie to save.
So after going 6 minutes without a goal, we've now had 3 here in the last minute. This time to handle the face-off for the Apollos is number 3, Thomas Seichel. Referee checking, puts the ball down, backs away, and a whistle right away. Apollos will have the ball. What's that whistle for, Paul?
Just indicating that that the man had jumped early, the West Linn player had jumped early.
All right.
And the double whistle a lot of times just to prevent the players from coming in from the side and taking an unnecessary whack at the guys in the middle.
It was 4-3 at the end of the first quarter. It's now 5-5. We're at even strength. Apollos working the ball around the outside. Gallagher, he was the one that drew that last penalty.
See, Sunset's trying to employ a new strategy to try to get Gallagher freed up.
Gallagher that time with a shot, it was down, blocked down by his feet by Bradford.
Yeah, Sunset that time sent a pick to help out to try to get Ballsbow off of them, the West Linn #1 defender. but he was able to free himself up without the pick.
This game has so many qualities of basketball. You see those picks. There's a shot hard, blocked by Shaw down at his feet, ball loose. Picked up by Shaw.
Save Sunset, number 28. Aiden Shaw.
Yeah, that shot by Jack Johnson, number 24. He's going to have to do a little bit better against a goalie of Shaw's quality.
Here come the Apollos down the right side. And pass loose, picked up by the Lions. Lions come forward down the right side. .225 left to go here in the first half. The Apollos have never led in this game. They were down 2-0 at the start. They've not had the lead. That ball goes out. It'll be Apollo's ball.
Well, they're going to be trying to change that on this possession. There's an ill-advised pass by one of the leaders of the offense. A little surprising. Trying to maybe do a little bit too much. Maybe a little too fancy.
1:46 left to go here in the first half. 5-5 our score. After 7 goals in the first quarter, we've had 3 here in the second.
Sunset's in their 2-3-1 offense. You can see they have 2 middies up top, 3 across the middle, and 1 behind. Usually from this offense, we'll see dodging from up top. Sunset's being really patient here. They want to make sure they get the lead on this possession.
Just over a minute left to go here. There's a shot, a hard shot by number 2. That was Nick Halverson.
Yeah, Halverson probably should have. He had a few more steps he could have taken to get into that goal for a better shot.
Apollo's still with the ball though, back out on top to Halverson. Players down at this end don't have a clock they can see to see how much time there actually is left. Is somebody on the sideline yelling that into them?
Yeah, probably the offensive coach closer to the 25-yard line will be doing that. Usually it's on the attackman to also make sure the middies and everybody's looking at him. However, with the sun, it's really probably difficult to see.
There's a shot wide right.
Shot wide, number 10. Shot
Ball
wide.
loose on the ground, and Bradford puts his stick and covers it up. Now picks it up.
So that was an interference call. When the goalie has the ball in the crease as possession, the offensive players are not allowed to touch the goalie's stick. So it was just a simple turnover.
5 seconds left. Doesn't look like West Linn's going to be able to get a shot away, and they're not. That is the end of the first half. Our score here at the end of the first half, it is West Linn 5, Sunset 5. It was 4-3 at the end of one. Apollos outscored the Lions in that second quarter 2-1. And that's where we stand right now. Kind of a different situation than where I thought we would be after the end of the first quarter.
Well, that sometimes happens. Goals will come in bunches, and then the defense figures it out. It's that constant chess match of offense versus defense, rock, paper, scissors. And, like I said, both teams are well coached, and they've made the adjustments that have allowed for the string of goals and then also for the defense to prevent them.
All right, Paul, you can see both teams here. The Apollos are down to our left, huddled up near the end zone. The Lions are huddled up down to our right in the end zone. What What are the coaches talking to the players about right now?
Well, I think, what I was saying a little bit earlier about, defense is, that you have to make sure that, you can send that slide, you can send a second man to cover, their better attackman or the better midfielder, but it's everybody else's off-ball responsibility to make sure that you quickly move to cover up those open passes and, to keep their sticks in those passing lanes to prevent those.
All right, while we got a second, let's talk about lacrosse a little bit.
Sure.
You have a lot of time in the lacrosse program here in Oregon. You went to Syracuse University for a while. I can't think of a bigger school that has a reputation for lacrosse. The big schools that were all back east that kind of got the reputation started. Johns Hopkins, I remember. Syracuse. I watched the championship Saturday morning, and that was Virginia and Yale. And what's the state of lacrosse in Oregon?
Well, I know, as I was saying earlier, Mark Flood is one of the pioneers in lacrosse. And, when the Oregon lacrosse started in the early 90s, there were 4 teams. And Kurt Sheenan, who'll be coaching the Lakeridge team later, was also one of the pioneers of the game. And it started with 4. When I moved here in 2000, the only thing that my team that I coached at Southridge knew about it was the movie American Pie and a couple of old VHS tapes that I had. And Sunset happened to be, Southridge and Sunset were the 10th and 11th teams to start. I believe we're now up to 47 varsity programs, and I believe the girls are in the 30s at some point. I'm hoping, and I think I heard that we were petitioning the OSA to make it a sanctioned sport, so I'm hoping that goes through.
Now, just so I'm clear,
yes.
When we say a sanctioned sport, this is not a official high school sport at this time. The OSAA doesn't award trophies in this sport. This is a non, whatever the word is.
Right. It's non-sanctioned, so it
Sanctioned.
has. When I was at Southridge, it used to have club status, and it was tier 1, 2, 3, and we were considered tier 2, so we weren't quite sanctioned, but. We got facilities and things like that. Now, and then some schools like the Three Rivers, West Linn, Lakeo, and Lakeridge, they get support from their schools, their athletic directors. Wilsonville High School has support from their athletic directors. Sherwood has support from the athletic director, and they do get some monies from the school. But that's on a school-by-school and conference-by-conference recognition, whereas schools like mine right now at Aloha and at Southridge and in the Metro, except for Jesuit, of course, it's a club sport. Parents have to, they have to do fundraising. Parents pay between $400 and $800 a year to play. It's expensive. It costs about $1,500 to $2,000 to outfit each kid. What a lot of people don't recognize, if your kid plays football, you may pay $250, but the true cost is about $2,000.
Right.
And so I think with the state of funding and where I'm from in New York, it's a sanctioned sport, and a lot of states are sanctioning them. So we're hoping with the new education budget going forth and just the state recognizing how important it is to have our children and our student athletes playing sports and giving them other options in these high schools of 2,000 kids. They need to have options. And it's a perfect option, especially for the non-traditional athletes. So, we always have the skateboarders and the surfers and the musicians that would come out. So I'm hoping some positive things will happen over the next year or two.
When I was watching the NCAA championship, the guy was talking about recruiting people to take the draw at center, and he says, you know what we look for? We look for wrestlers.
Yes.
And football players. So what's it going to take to get OSA affiliation?
I think originally it was the numbers. They kept saying that they needed to get the girls' numbers up and the boys' numbers up, and the numbers of programs. My feeling has always been, what I've said, it's a matter of money. You have a lot of these coaches, athletic directors, that they don't want to lose the money. And the one thing they have to realize is that a lot of the expense for these teams have already been laid out. And I think, Washington State, they sanctioned girls lacrosse, and the programs, bloomed. It's really, you need that officiality so that schools have permission to start programs.
Last week we did the girls, and they divided their program, or their championship up into two different categories, a gold division and a silver. They took the top 12 teams, seeded them, and they played for the championship. They took the next 12 teams, seeded them, and they played for what they called the Silver Cup. They got all these teams involved in postseason play, and what they were telling me was the interest just really blossomed.
Yeah, and we did the same thing on the boys' side. I was a part of the OHSLA board for a while and helped formulate what we call the Cascade Cup. So it's a similar thing where the top 24 teams in the state make our state championship, and if you come in first or second in your conference, you also automatically make it. And then the next 16 teams after that 24 go to the Cascade Cup, and I think it's really revitalized those teams in the middle toward the bottom.
While we've got a chance, while we've got in a minute or two, let's tell me about the state of lacrosse. I know that there's been a petition with the Olympic Committee to get lacrosse involved in the Olympics. How's that going?
Yeah, just, I watched a lot of the games in Netanyahu, Israel this summer. They had the World Games, and I had two former players of mine playing, one playing for Team Philippines and one for Team Denmark.
Wow.
So that was pretty neat, the two former high school players. And, they were talking about how they get into Olympics. And, similar to, Oregon, the worry about space and money and all of that. And, lacrosse is going through this debate right now. Do we want in the Olympics? Do we want to change the game? Do we want to make it a 7-on-7 game? Do we want to make smaller fields to make it more attractive to host sites to be able to put up more fields and not have the expense of having these teams that have 23, 25 players on them and coaches? So it's a debate that's going on right now.
All right, we're just about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. What should we look for from each one of these teams in the second half?
Well, as far as defense, like I said, is those off-ball defenders really kind of buttoning up the backside. And what I'm really looking forward to is that matchup between number 10 and number 21. Gallagher for Sunset and Ballsbow for West Linn. And it looks like Ballsbow at the end there was getting, the better of the two matchups. They're two number one players, and it's just been kind of an epic battle. So I really look forward to that.
See any change coming up offensively for either one of these teams?
Sunset's been very patient, where I think West Linn has gone to the goal. The coaches at West Linn are traditionally what I've thought of as a little bit more conservative, so I was a little surprised that they did attack so quickly. And that possibly may have been a strategy that they saw something in the Sunset defense to take advantage of. I think maybe they'd probably make it a little more patient and make some smarter decisions on some of their feeds. But they're playing well.
You really can't argue much with the team's tied at 5-5 and only giving up 5 goals.
Yep. It's a great game, and it's unheard of in this game to see. You see at the college level, mainly because of the new shot clock they put in, of scores in the mid to high teens.
We had girls' games last week. One game was 20-16, and the game took a little longer to play because of all those goals. But
right.
And the championship game was 12-8. So there's a lot of action.
Yeah, and one thing you'll see in the women's games, a lot of point-blank shots where you'll see a lot more shots from the outside in the men's game, just because with the nature of the design of the sticks with the pocket being a lot deeper in the boys, they can hold on to the ball and get a lot more velocity, where the girls, it's more of a snap of the wrist. It's more like shooting in basketball, so they're not able to propel it as fast, so they have to be in a little bit closer.
What are the equipment differences between the boys and the girls?
Well, the boys wear a helmet,
right.
Optional arm pads, you have to wear gloves. And, the equipment is basically there for incidental contact. You're not supposed to slash the body. You're not supposed to slash the head, but accidents happen. The girls' game is a big debate going on in the game right now. They instituted wearing eyewear to protect the eyes about, I think, 7 or 8 years ago. And there's a debate. So in Florida right now, the women need to wear helmets that are more like bicycle helmets.
They have a penalty in the women's game. The girls' game, it's called, I think, in the sphere. Anytime you get the stick up near the head.
Yes, you're supposed to keep the checks away from the body, and anytime the check is toward the body or near the head, they call it the bubble of protection.
Okay.
And so you need to be able to do that. I've played with the women a few times, so a few times playing goalie, unfortunately.
All right, we're ready for the draw to start the second half. Apollos, purple and white. They will move from our right to our left. West Linn, ball loose on the ground. West Linn in the white.
Face-off warrior, West Linn, number 16, Reed Ketzler.
West Linn comes forward. Only 3 goals total in the third quarter, and Sunset had 2 of them. Lions behind the net. There's a shot, blocked. Shaw blocked that. Aiden Shaw in goal for the Apollos. In goal for the West Linn Lions, it's Carson Bradford. A couple of nice saves there by Shaw.
Yeah, it was
for a sophomore, he's very efficient.
Yeah, he sees the ball real well, and he's got blazing quick hands. That was a nice feed by Michael Stell, number 3 with the red gloves. It's easy to pick him out, his number out.
And Shaw came way forward that time, sends a pass over the head of number 25. That's Connor Curry.
Excuse me, West Linn.
West Linn will have the ball. I'm sorry, that was a pass over the head of Nick Niedermeyer.
And you can see Sunset's riding all 3 attackmen going up the short stick, but they didn't have a chance.
That's number 20. That's Anders Martinson, the senior midfielder. There's a shot. Wide.
Shot wide by number 18, Lucas Hockman.
It's a possession shot by Lucas Hockman. He was pretty far out. He was like 15, 16 yards, making sure he shoots that over the goal as his player gets back up. It still has backup.
Quickly, here come the Apollos forward. On that rush was number 2, Nick Halverson. Back behind the net, 27. That's Hopper Zappolito. Number 20, Parker DeChant. On the rush, sends it back behind the net. Out in front. Charlie Gold. Gold trying to get down the middle, pushed away. Dishes it off number 3, Thomas Sitchell. In front. Nice save that time, a block by Bradford.
That shot by Zappatello. Very nice catch to control that. The only shot that he had on that was to go behind his back, which is advised to make sure you increase your angle. That he just need a little, shoot that a little bit quicker. He was forced because of that. That pass was a little off. Nice shot though. Better save by Bradford.
Behind the net, West Linn. A shot. Tried to bounce it by Shaw, but missed the net.
Looks like they switched their matchup. You had Zapatillo guarding Ross Scott on that one. Wonder if they're just trying to get a little more quickness on him.
There's a hard shot. Tried to bounce that one in, and that was wide left. Are they purposely trying to go for low shots here? Is that some, maybe they sense something?
They may have seen something in the first half or from scouting. I'm just a little surprised because they still have the sun in the goalie's eyes.
Right. Would seem to me like a high shot might be harder to handle.
Yeah.
West Linn loses the ball. Alex Zapatello comes forward. I'm sorry, I called him Alex. It's Ajax. Ajax Zapatello.
That was a really tough pass to catch. Probably should have gotten that more to the outside.
Behind the net. Does that go in?
A little backhand shovel shot.
Shaw thought he had stopped it. It went in. You'll see him come across there. There's the shot, and in, and on the goal was number, we're watching. Okay. Lions take the lead again, 6-5. That goal coming with 6:55. So we went 5 minutes without a goal there. All right, we'll see if we can get who was on that goal. But that goal was kind of just a, not a really hard shot, and Shaw thought he stopped it. It went down to the ground and trickled in.
So it was like on the last shot by the West Linn attacker using it behind the back. That was a shovel shot, backhand to create more angle. You're seeing that a lot more prevalent in the last 5 or 6 years after the Thompson brothers who played off at Albany or from the Iroquois reservation, and they've
right.
A lot of players are trying to imitate them.
I recognize those names. West Linn. There's a shot. Off to the side of the net, Shaw falls on it. You know, lacrosse is America's true sport.
It sure is. Founded by the Iroquois, otherwise known as the Haudenosaunee of central New York in the Six Nations.
There's a hard shot. They tried to bounce that in. Bradford with a good stop. That shot that time was by Jonathan Ito, and he tried to bounce it in, but Bradford saw it coming and made the save.
Push, wrestling, sunset ball.
I believe that was a loose ball push, just a change in possession.
5:43 left to go here in the third quarter. 6-5, West Linn leads.
This is what you call an invert offense, where you take the short stick defender behind the goal.
That's number 1 out there, Charlie Gold.
This is another one reason to try to change that matchup.
Chop Gallagher back behind the net, looking for some help out front. The ball gets loose. Was intended for Hopper Zapatello. West Linn send it forward. Lions with the ball and the lead, 6-5. Pass intercepted. Here come the Apollos. Halverson. Up on the side, a shot high.
Sunset shot high.
Both teams making some very dangerous passes in the middle. In my day when I played, they would have been on their backs. You don't see too much hitting anymore in this game. More of a finesse game. A lot of those rules put in to protect the players.
So this is a old school, new school battle.
It is. You'll see some good contact, but both teams being well coached, they're going to make sure that when they take their opportunities to be physical, they're going to try to do it in a legal way.
3:50 left to go in the third. 6-5, West Linn leads. Halverson. Number 20, Parker Deschamps.
You can see here what I was talking about. West Linn, the guy sliding from the crease, trying to double the ball.
There's that little backhanded shovel shot.
Probably a little unnecessary at that time, but I always love the creativity. When I coach, I let my players play. And it's fun to watch, and some of the time it's effective. That time he probably should have just either pulled it out or nice overhand shot.
That was number 20. That's Parker Deschamps. And there's a shot and a goal.
Goal, Sunset, number 10. Chop Gallagher threads the needle.
That's a goal. That's number 10, Chop Gallagher. That's going to even this match up.
Wow, that was a big-time move. I was just thinking to myself and saying I'd like to see Gallagher draw that double and move the ball a little quicker, but you can't argue with that. That was a very well-placed shot. That takes a lot of practice. That takes a very large bucket of balls day after day in your backyard, just practicing that move over and over.
Well, we played 34 minutes now, and we're back where we started. We're even up. 6-6 our score. The draw coming up. Scooped up by West Linn and dropped. Number 4, that's Ajax Zapatello. Shaw sends it forward to number 9, Callum Craig.
Ajax Zapatello as advertised. I am more impressed. The more I watch him, I am even more impressed with just all-around play. He's old school. Two-way midi, but playing with a long pole. It's very nice to see.
We were talking beforehand, team can have no more than 4 long sticks. And he's a midfielder with a long stick that goes forward on offense.
Now he goes forward. You'll often see that by long stick midfielders, but to actually stay on offense and stay on.
In front, and Sunset takes the lead.
Sunset, number 27. Hopper's opportunity assist, number 11.
That goal by Sunset by number 27, and that is Hopper Zapatello.
Very nice feed by Alec Banton, number 11.
Let's take a look at that real quick.
You could see what I was talking about. He had his head up, saw the defender, second defender coming. And the key on that would be the offensive player in the crease whose defender left him to make that stay high enough and make that move to the goal. Very well executed.
No sooner were you extolling the virtues of Ajax Zapatello than Hopper scores. Loose on the ground. That's going to be picked up by Ajax Zapatello.
Sunset wins the faceoff.
And the pass intercepted. Here comes West Linn forward. First time in the game they've trailed. Two goals here in the third quarter for the Apollos, and they take the lead at 7-6.
So one thing, passes to the middle of the field are very dangerous and ill-advised many times. As you can see why. There's been a lot of that in this game.
We're at 1 minute left to go in the third quarter. There's a shot, hit the post. That ball way up in the air.
That was a pretty sick high rising, low to high shot by Ross Scott, and even an amazing save by Shaw.
So Shaw gets the benefit of the post on one shot and then makes a good save. West Linn trying to get something. That ball bounced in front of Shaw, made a nice save and deflected it. 25 seconds. There's another hard shot. Shaw deflects that one. Boy, about 4 straight saves by Shaw.
It's amazing. What you were saying earlier about those low shots, West Linn must have seen something, but Shaw making the adjustment. Those are pretty amazing, quick hands.
There's a shot, pretty much the length of the field. And there's the buzzer. That is the end of the third quarter. 2 goals by Sunset in that goal quarter, and they take the lead now. 7-6, 2-1. The scoring, Sunset on goals that time. That's 2 straight quarters. Sunset has won 2-1 after being behind by 1 in the first quarter at 4-3. So our score here at the end of 3, it is Sunset 7, West Linn 6. The 2019 OHSLA Championship Playoffs are presented by UBS and Wren Ferguson Group, helping individuals and families with financial planning and professional investment management for over 30 years. They understand the value of investing in our communities and our youth. To learn more about what they can do to help you with your financial planning and investment management, give them a call at 503-248-1303. And I'll tell you something again that Paul's familiar with, and that's the OMLL. The Oregon Masters Lacrosse League is proud to announce its inaugural 2019 summer season. If you're interested in participating, please see the OMLL both at the west end of the field near the concessions or visit the OMLL website at omll.org. Our 4 region-based teams are the West Side Fosters, the East Side Slow Breakers, the South Side Sloths, and the Portland Patriots. Oregon Masters Lacrosse League. Why should the kids have all the fun? All right, we'll start off the fourth quarter.
There was a flurry at the end of the half by West Linn. They really sped their offense, and the time was running down, but they were really pushing hard to the goal, and Sunset defense and Shaw came up big on that.
Well, I don't know how many saves Shaw had that quarter. I think 6 that I can recall.
Yeah, unofficially for the game, I have 8 saves. But that last quarter, I had 4 down.
All right. Well, I gave him a save on one that hit the post. There you go.
I wasn't sure on that one. I didn't count it because it looked like the post, but he may have gotten a piece of that.
No, I think it was straight off the post. All right, we're underway in the fourth quarter. Apollos will move from our right to our left. Lions from our right to our left. Did I get that right? From our left to our right on the Lions. It's a jungle out there. Hard shot high.
Coach Flood's not going to be happy with that shot. Not much angle from far out, sidearm.
It was a hard shot, but not on goal. "11 minutes action left. This will decide who goes to the championship game on Saturday. Inside, a shot, a jump shot, and a goal. West Linn scores.
Chase Fletcher.
The goal was scored by, let's see here, number 43, and that is Chase Fletcher, the junior midfielder.
Chase Fletcher won that face-off and rewarded himself with a very nice goal. Yeah, was it just a little dodge from up top, re-dodged down from the wing, and just slipped inside his defender. Slide didn't get there in time.
Fletcher on the goal, 10:57 the time, 7-7 our score.
Spencer Edwards. Fixing the first one.
The draw, loose, still on the ground. And still loose. Somebody has, nope, still loose on the ground, but picked up by West Linn. Here come the Lions forward. Dishes off right in front, a shot, a goal, right in front. And that is the 4th goal of the game for Ethan Lone. Right, we'll take a look. All right. Were we able to see there on the run in who got that? The announcer said number 1, Ethan Lone. You think it was somebody different? You think it was number 1. You think it was Ross Scott? It is number 1? All right, it is number 1. The PA announcer did say Lone, but it's Ross Scott.
Yeah, these numbers are just so hard to see. Apologize to the crowd at home if we get any of these names wrong.
Our producer EJ said that that was number 1, and we're confirmed, and he's the final authority.
All right, Sunset needs to just kind of relax and settle into their offense. No need to go to the goal and try to get everything back right now.
You know, they worked so hard. West Linn did at the end of the 3rd to get this game back to even. Couldn't do it. Kind of some erratic play, and then came right out and scored 2 quick goals to start the 4th to get the lead back.
Yeah, it's a little effort without effort. You really can't force things to happen. You have to let the game come to you. Looks like the Sunset's going to try maybe go into a little picking game to kind of free some people up.
Sunset, number 11, that's Alex Banton. He has a goal in the game. This is Gallagher. Gallagher kind of goes backwards up in the air. Jumped up and shot a shot backwards, missed.
Yeah, a little too much. That's what I was afraid of. A little bit trying to do too much, trying to get it all back and making moves. Probably wasn't just ill-advised shot by the experienced Gallagher.
We had 7 goals in the first quarter. We've had 7 goals since then. West Linn behind the goal. And they'll set up. They have a 1-goal lead at 8-7. All right, West Linn was still with the ball back behind the net, trying to get a screen, a shot, deflected. Boy, Shaw did a good job of holding his ground that time.
Yeah, he had to look through a lot of traffic. That crease was a lot of crowded, very much crowded.
The ball was loose by the side of the net. Somebody tried to push it in and couldn't. All right, the Apollos want to take a timeout. We've got 8:05 left to play in this one. And our score is West Linn 8, Sunset 7.
West Linn leads Sunset 8-7.
Sunset coaches bailed out their goalie and their offense. There wasn't a lot of movement on the ball when Shaw crossed the midfield. He was sort of forced to call a timeout. A lot of times you want to save those closer to the end of the game, but he saw that it was a very important possession. Like to see their offense, and Gallagher especially, be a little more patient, a little more smart with the ball. They've shown that they have that capacity to draw the double and move the ball.
Want to remind you, this is the first semifinal. Our second semifinal will be coming up. It'll be probably about 20-30 minutes after this game, and that will feature the number 1 ranked Lake Ridge Pacers and the number 4 ranked Lake Oswego Lakers. Hometown action. Rick Gruen, the head coach of the Lakers. Kurt Scheinen, the head coach of the Lake Ridge Pacers.
That'll be an epic matchup of traditional Three Rivers foes who've already met this season.
And what happened when they met? I don't have that record.
I'll have it out for the next game.
Okay.
They've West Linn, Lake Ridge, and Lowell seem to have traded games. I know West Linn beat Lake Ridge 10-8, and they lost to LO 9-14. But those three have occupied the top spot in Three Rivers for a long time.
There's Gallagher, works his way, a shot blocked by Bradford and a flag.
Yeah, the West Linn defenders complaining, but they don't have anything to complain about. That was an illegal body check from the back. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a 1 minute on this one.
Gallagher is down by the net.
Yeah, Ballsbow, and the referee's going to talk about this because this could go one of two ways. This could be a push from behind, or it could be an illegal body check because it was quite violent into the crease. But Ballsbow went for a check over the head that usually slows you down by a step, and Gallagher took advantage of it. And that second slide was a little bit late. That's why you saw the penalty. I believe this is going to be a 1 minute penalty. I see him signaling.
1 minute penalty on
Cross check.
West Linn, a cross check. They'll be down a player for a minute. Gallagher will go back and get a ball. Time on the clock, 7:53.
So I believe what the officials are saying is because they stopped any time there might be a hit to the head, the player automatically has to go to the sideline and get checked by a trainer. They have to sit out, I believe, for a matter of time. I think that's why they just sent Gallagher to the sidelines.
He's over there. Nobody's looking at him right now.
Yeah, it didn't look like he got hit in the head. It just looked like he got cross-checked in the back. See Zappatello up top of that long pole. Very unique.
Apollo's back behind the net. They'll send that out on top. There's Halverson, number 2. To number 3. Ball loose on the ground, picked back up. Lions have it. And a whistle and another flag. A player hits the deck. That's Ajax Zappatello that hit the deck.
That'd be a 1 minute slashing penalty. I did not see it, but obviously number 2 player, number 4, went down.
So a slashing penalty. That's a 1 minute penalty, correct?
That's correct. So West Linn will now be 2 men down. Advantage Apollos.
So the Apollos have a 2-man advantage right now until that first player gets back out from the penalty.
So Sunset starting in what we call an open set. You can see that they have no purple players in the crease, but I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 players end up in the crease to put a lot of pressure on the defense that only has 4.
Apollos start to set something up. They trail by 1. They have a 2-man advantage. They work towards the middle, actually go back behind the net again. Now they move in close. There's a shot by number 12, Norm Almoed. It was a low shot. Bradford stopped it.
Isaac Sebastian with a nice clear, number 23.
.6:43 left. Apollo team was jumping up and down. Did you see what that was about?
Possibly there might have been an offsides on that one, or I did not see.
Well, we have a timeout.
And if there was an offsides, that's why Coach Flood being and all the coaches on the sideline very experienced, we would have seen that and then called a timeout.
You know, all right, I can see the Lake Ridge Pacers down in the end zone off to our right. You can't mistake them.
And they're powder blues, Carolina blue. I'm not sure what blue color that is.
I always call it UCLA blue.
UCLA blue. Those of us from the East Coast, it's the Carolina blue, I guess.
Right. Woe be the person that calls it baby blue.
Baby blue.
Yeah. All right, timeout is over.
So, Sunset being a man up, elect to double the ball. This is a very risky thing to do.
Still, the Apollos are a man up. We have penalties still running against the Lions. Lions with the ball.
And here you're going to try to see number 4 trying to turn him back, but obviously he can't keep up with the very speedy Ross Scott.
And that's Ajax Zapatello that's guarding him.
Yeah, you can see they come out of it. They just realize the penalty will soon be released, and they need to set up for their regular man-to-man defense.
Yes, and release. Even players.
Quick double by Sunset defense.
We're at equal strength now for both teams. Lions with the ball in the lead, 8-7. Out on top.
So West Linn is running what we call a 2-2-2 set. There's 2 up top, 2 in the crease, and 2 behind. They'll continually dodge from up top and either throw it behind or throw it back up top. And the off-ball player is constantly moving, trying to find those open spaces.
Owen Heyer back there on defense for the Apollos behind the net.
Look for an early slide here on Ross Scott.
And there's a goal for the Lions.
You have to recognize who has the ball. And their number 1 attackman with well over 70 goals this season, you need to send that slide early.
All right, did we see who was on the goal that time? It might have been number 1. It is. It's number 1, Ross Scott. His second straight goal. That coming at 5:08. And you know, the Lions were behind by a goal and now have scored 3 here in the 4th. How's that for pressure?
Their offense, they've been running a very deliberate offense. It looks like their bread and butter that they've run since I've been here.
Right, 9-7, Lions lead. And a whistle. Possession will go to the Apollos. Ajax Zapatello.
West Linn, Sunset possession.
That's Alex Banton out on top.
No need to panic here. Sunset just needs to be patient and run their offense. And we talked about early in the game, just goals can come in bursts. They just need to be patient and pick their good shots.
They're down by 2.
So they've got the switch they wanted. They got a shorty on Gallagher, although West Linn recognizes it.
And Gallagher hits the deck again.
Bailed out by the push from behind.
With possession.
That will be Apollo ball behind the net. A player got back to the back that time and was closest to the ball when it went out. That's what Paul means when he say bailed out.
So Sunset's been trying to change the matchup to get Balsbo 21 off of Gallagher, and it's just not working.
There's another penalty flag. There's a hard shot. Blocked. Bradford blocked it.
Shot by number 9, Craig Callan has been a penalty. 1 minute push, West Linn.
So that'll be a 30-second technical push.
That's a penalty on the Lions, a 30-second penalty.
Oh, I take that back. The official's calling a cross-check, 1 minute.
Okay.
So there's a new rule that they've instituted at the collegiate and the high school level that you're allowed to have your hands apart. The old rules, you had to have your hands together or you needed to push the player with your gloved hands. That's no longer possible, but what the referees will not tolerate is if you extend both hands and you hit the person with the cross of your stick.
Well, that's what it looked like to me happened. I mean, I saw that from behind. Gallagher hit the deck again when that happened. Boy, they're making a concerted effort to really play physical with Gallagher. Inside, a shot low and in. Our goal for the Apollos.
Number 27, Hopper Zapatio. Number 12, Moon Ahmed on the assist.
So number 27, Hopper Zapatio, freshman who stepped in when Charlie Gold was hurt. And he stepped in. He's just obviously, quote from the coach, he's just a great finisher.
All right,
and you can see that from that goal.
It's a back to a 1-goal lead, 9-8. Possession really important now. In front.
Great diagonal look by Sunset, but even a better recovery by the West Linn defense.
West Linn fans wanted a penalty there, none called.
They wanted a push from behind. That's a tough call, championship game. Referees are more apt to let that go, figuring the goalie turned.
We're at 3:02 left in this one. There's another flag.
Looks like an upcoming slash. So Sunset will retain possession until West Linn comes up with the ball, or a goal is scored.
How about that? Even this game up.
No goal.
Wait, the referees waved that goal off.
Yep, they said he stepped in the goal, stepped in the crease.
Let's take a look at that.
Did he have his feet on the line, or did he step in before the ball crosses the plane of the goal? That ball did hit the ground and bounce up, so that's going to be...
Okay, we were watching it there on the instant replay. The referees waved the goal off.
Very nice.
There's another shot. Okay, no goal. Score stays 9-8. Favor of West Linn.
So Sunset doesn't need to take the first shot that come. They need to take the best shot.
Apollos around the outside, back behind the net. In the middle, loose on the ground. Lions go after it, they pick it up, and they're going to clear it all the way down the field. Lions come up with it. 3-on-3.
West Linn coaches obviously upset about something. They've been calling a timeout, but pointing down toward the Sunset bench. Not sure quite what they're upset about, but they got the timeout that they needed. What a hustle play. That was not a West Linn attackman. That was a midfielder that was waiting to come over after the penalty was released. I believe it was number 28. And just a hustle play to get that ball and bail his team out for another possession.
All right, the clock shows 1:44 left to go in this one. It's a 9-8 lead for the West Linn Lions.
So we have some fans watching at home. Kyle Hamburger, who's the head coach at Wilsonville, just sent me a text. He's appreciating the broadcast. Foot in the crease, I disagree.
All right. So I got a good look at our instant replay that time.
Yep. You're watching on that big screen at home in HD. Kyle Hamburger is also a former goalie of mine at Southridge.
And he's now the head coach of Wilsonville?
He's now a head coach. Very proud of him. Head coach at Wilsonville. Had a very, very successful year trying to rebuild that program.
They've got some great team sports at Wilsonville. Their soccer program is amazing.
Is it really?
West Linn with the ball. 1:40 on the clock.
So Sunset's playing a very high-pressure defense. You can see them locking off the other players. A dangerous thing to ask your defense. A lot of pressure on your defense to try to guard Ross Scott.
There's a shot. West Linn scores. Gives them kind of a bonus goal.
West Linn.
So that's, in some ways, that could be a risky venture. We're talking about the face-offs being a unique aspect of this game.
Okay, let's look at the replay and see if we can get who got that goal. Number 10? All right. Number 10 with the goal.
Yeah, so there's a philosophy that you hold that to the end of the game. You don't shoot till there's 20 seconds. Now with face-offs, Sunset very easily could get 2 face-offs in a row, get 2 quick goals, and bring this score back to tied.
By the way, that goal, number 10, that's Josh Morford. His second goal of the game.
As I was saying earlier, Josh Morford, son of Coach Jim Morford, proud pop on the sidelines.
Tony Engel, Jim Morford, and John Stevens on the staff with Mark Flood. Assistant coaches for Sunset, the head coach Justin Blackmore, Mancho Almerito, Ryan Macri, and Nate Burris.
Other assistant coaches at West Linn, Eric Lopez, I'm not sure if you mentioned him, Spencer Smith, Dave Hansen, who I had the pleasure of coaching with, and Scott Demarest.
All right, we're set for the draw. 2-goal lead for West Linn with 1:20 left to play. West Linn with the ball.
So look for West Linn to hold it. Referee signaling they need to keep it in for the last 2 minutes. So they need to keep it between those blue lines, number to number, inside the 30. And you're going to see Sunset send the goalie away. They need to put all the cards on the table. We're going to double the ball.
Sunset has taken their goalie out. West Linn has the ball. West Linn back behind the net. We're at 44 seconds.
And I believe there's no timeouts to bail anybody out.
West Linn still with the ball, trying to run time off. 35 seconds. double team the ball. And the Lion player goes down.
Sunset ball.
Apollos with the ball. Oh, and there's a penalty. We're at 11.6 seconds. A delayed flag.
So you were going to see a loose ball push. Number 21, Ballsbo, let the emotions get the best of him, and now he's going to get a flag for taunting.
Ajax Zapatello is the one who hit the deck down here.
So I take that back. It looks like a cross-check call. And you could see 21 giving him a little bit of
yeah, let's
John
take a look
after
at that. There's the play. There's the penalty.
Okay, so it looks like just the cross-check call. I saw him, Ballsbo giving it a little bit of lip after that.
Gallagher starts forward for the Apollos. We're under 10 seconds. Gallagher, a hard shot. Block. They throw the ball a little length. There's the horn. That's it. A win for West Linn. 10-8, our final score. And the West Linn Lions will advance to the championship game on Saturday with the 10-8 win over the Sunset Apollos. It was 4-3 West Linn at the end of one. It was 5-5 at halftime. Sunset took the lead at the end of the third quarter, 7-6, and then the Lions outscored the Apollos in the last quarter, 4-1 to win this game, 10-8. Paul, your final thoughts on this?
Well, at West Linn, second half, they really picked it up. They went back to their base offense, their 2-2-2 offense, very deliberate. And Ross Scott just took the game over. It's just a pleasure to watch. Fast, quick, amazing shooter. And then their defenseman, number 21, Grant Ballsbo, just took Gallagher out of the game. You could see they was physical with him, kind of beat him up a little bit. And just really, you could see those last shots he took at the end of the game, he got into his head.
It was a well-played game all the way around. The Apollos tried to pull something off at the end, not able to. The Lake Oswego Lakers are out on the field. So are the Lake Ridge Pacers as we await the start of the second game. We're going to take a break until the start of the second game. We got some people we want to thank, though. Paul Schlesinger, who's the commissioner of the OHSLA. Want to thank the Lake Oswego High School for their facilities, their athletic director, Brigham Baker. Want to thank our crew tonight, E.J. Albaugh, the producer, Tom Flynn, the director, Jim Thompson, our audio technician, and Ryan Johnson, our executive producer. My broadcast partner, Paul Voas, will be with us for the second game tonight. And Paul, great job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
All right, I'm Dave Hall from Lake Oswego High School, where our final score in first semifinal action tonight, it is West Linn 10, Sunset 8. We'll be back with the second semifinal game in just a few minutes.